Hello and welcome to the show. This is the Barbara H. Smith Show, and I'm glad you're here. This show is about the latest trends. We talk about business. We talk about so many things. I have been having a blast, and I hope you found some really interesting information that you can use and participate in the conversation. So thank you so much for being here today. You know, as a communicator and an orator, there are times when our messages get confused, even times when we make a mistake. So I want to go back to one of our previous episodes, the inaugural episode where I had the lovely Holly Bird Miller on. And I was infatuated with all the information about being a brand strategist. But I did misquote something, and I want to clear it up right now. The initial brand strategist that I worked with was Kim Brundage, but we all did meet at the same time. When I met Kim, she did all those fabulous photos, headshots, everything, the beauty and the brains behind my brand. And then I met Holly, and Holly took over with the makeup. And so Holly is still my makeup artist, and Kim Brundage is still my photographer, but I just wanted to clear that up. Now, coming to the platform, coming to the TV network with me is someone I have the utmost respect for. We call him the More Guy. Wade Randolph is coming to the stage. He, excuse me, is a CEO of Randolph Unlimited. It's a professional speaking and business training organization in Midlothian, Virginia. And in his firm, he provides keynote presentations, training, and speaking keynotes. I said that already. Okay. So he coaches, he does leadership, he does teamwork, he does all kinds of motivation. And he's a successful author, several books to his credit. And he's one of the few speakers who has spoken and presented at the Westminster Hall in London, England. Help me welcome, after 12 years of traveling the world, Mr. Wade, the More Guy Randolph.
See, being in business, regardless if you're a non-to-business or any type of business, is about connecting. It's about hearing new information that can drive you forth. It's more about coming together with people with like minds in order to make your business grow.
You don't wake up wanting to be mediocre and just do just enough. You want to excel, you want to be a master in your craft, you want to take it to the next level. So it's not going to happen by accident. So you have to be mindful and think of what can I do today to help take me to the next level.
The truth is, your life will only change when you get new information. Your life will only change when you move forward with another level of thinking. This expo is about new information and moving your life to another level.
Wade, welcome to the show. I'm so glad to see you, my friend. What is going on with you?
It is good to be seen. Let me first thank you for having me on the show. It is people like you that continue to make a difference and give people a vision of what's possible. So thank you for having me on.
You are so welcome. There are so many things I want to talk to you about. The first thing I want to talk to you about is where we met and how we connected. Do you remember?
No, I'm going to let you refresh my memory, then I'll just jump in.
We also met at the National Speakers Association in Richmond, and we were going back and forth to all of these events, and we kept saying to each other, we got to get together. We got to get together. We got to get together. And it was like 2 or 3 years before we actually sat down and talked. And I got to tell you that you are the prime reason that I came up with, together with you, the Represent Your Brand series.
Oh.
And we were talking about products and services and how, as a speaker, you have to have not only the stage presence, but you have to have products. And you said, I said, I don't have a product. And you said, well, what do you do? I said, come on, Wade, you know I'm a speaker. You said, yeah, well, what do you have? I said, what do you mean? And you said, what do you have? Why are you doing speaking? I said, well, I got 20 years of experience. And you said, okay, so what do you bring to the table? Scratching my head like, what on earth are you talking about? He said, you said, what is your secret sauce? And I said, I got energy and enthusiasm. He said, okay, so now mix it up all together and put it together and make your product.
You know, when I used to travel with Les used to always ask us before we take the stage, he would say,
wait a minute, Les, who are you talking about, Les?
I'm sorry. I used to travel for years with Les Brown.
What?
And yes, it's interesting because this Wade Randolph that you hear, this Wade Randolph that you're talking with, it wouldn't be this person unless with someone who like Les Brown that really brought this person out of me. See, one thing we always used to say when we were speaking, you can't see the picture when you're in the frame. You got to have other people that can see something in you, and those people will help bring it out. And he always used to say before we'd take the stage, Barbara, who are you behind your words? What is it? What value, what insight, what information will you give someone that they will walk in one way and leave your presence differently? So I am so glad that I was able to help you pull out the real Barbara Smith, because there's something in all of us. And sometimes we just need somebody that can help us pull it out.
Well, I'm going to tell you, it was that speech that helped me get beyond myself. So I want to talk some about what you're doing now. What are the things you're doing?
You know, a lot of times now what I do is, and write this down for people that's listening to us, service is the rent that you pay for your time here on earth. Who are you being of service to, especially in these times, because people are going through tough times. So for me, I'm working to expand my voice. I'm working to see what challenges that I can help people overcome. Right now, before we start talking, I'm working on what you call a daily productivity planner, because now with people working at home and working and having to go back to the office, how can you be more productive? How can you get more done? But better yet, how can you have more time for yourself? You see, time waits for no man or woman. What can you do to have more time to do the things that you enjoy and to be more productive? So I'm working on what I call the daily productivity planner. And I'm hoping let me wipe that word out. By the end of this week, I will be done. So that will be released.
My coach says hope is not a strategy.
Smart coach. Give him a tip when you talk to him. Smart coach. Yeah, hope is not a strategy.
So you're working on the productivity planner, and it's going to be available. Is it going to be available on Amazon, on your website? Where is it going to be available?
So here's what I'm going to do, because this is a need. I think iron sharpens iron, and there are some people that really need this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to release it by the end of the week, this Friday. It'll be on my website free. So there will be 2 phases of it. Phase 200 of the Daily Productivity Planner will be where it will be just an introductory. Phase 3000 is where we're going to go deep, because some people need to go deep and take back their time. If you're having problems with time to do the things you enjoy, to do the things and spend with your family, if you're having time for just a challenge for you to spend some time with you, then this daily productivity planner is going to help.
Well, all of us have the same 24 hours.
Yes.
How do you get so much done in a day, Wade? Tell us how you do it.
So let me give you one secret that we're going to talk about in the daily productivity planner. You see, there is a rule that most people work 60 minutes in an hour. And by the time they work 8 hours, or most of us are working 10 hours, we are wiped out. And that just doesn't work. Sometimes you got to find a new way, a new insight, a new strategy that works for you. So I tell people, let's go to a 50-10 system. Note this, a 50-10 system. For 50 minutes, you're going to work productive. And for the last 10 minutes of that hour, if you're working in an hour segment, then you're going to take 10 minutes off to replenish yourself. Maybe take a walk, maybe just to visualize, maybe just to meditate. But let's stop working 60 minutes in an hour or 8 hours straight and burning yourself out. Let's take 50-10 and work 50 minutes and take 10 minutes each hour back for yourself. I guarantee you, if you try that strategy, Barbara, you're going to be more refreshed when you finish.
How about when you're working for 50 minutes and in the 50 minutes, your phone is ringing off the hook, email is ringing, messages are ringing. How do you stop all that stuff? And how do you focus on just getting the work done for 50 minutes?
Well, sometimes the answer is in the question. There's one focus. You have to focus your energy. See, multitasking drains our energy from several sources. So if you're multitasking, believe me, and let's just be honest. If you're multitasking, you're really not giving 100% to the task in front of you. You're probably giving 25, 30%. So what I tend to do is say, let's just use block time. Let's focus, turn the phone off, and let's focus for 50 minutes on that one activity. And I guarantee you, if you try that, you're going to get more done instead of multitasking.
In theory, that sounds good. So
okay.
I am going to try that, and I'm going to let you know how it works for me. I got another question. I heard something about you doing hypnosis.
Oh.
Let's talk about that. What were you what do you call a person that does hypnosis?
I'm the hypnotherapist.
Hypnotherapist.
Yes.
Were you the hypnotherapist, or was somebody doing hypnosis on you?
No, I'm the hypnotherapist. See, here's where I think, can you imagine for a moment that you have a lemon? And imagine for a moment that you bite that lemon. I guarantee you that right now you're salivating and you can feel the taste of that lemon in your mouth and you don't even have it. And there are certain programs, there are certain mental stimulus that we already have in our mind that either works for us or works against us. See, either the greatest enemy and the greatest friend we have are our thoughts. And most of the time, Barbara, people have more negative thoughts than they have positive thoughts. See, humor me for a minute. There's an old saying, garbage in,
garbage out.
Yeah, see, garbage doesn't go out. Garbage stays in, especially mentally, and it stings. And somewhere we've got to learn to dump the garbage out of our mind.
How do we do that, Wade? How do we do it?
Number one, let's talk about hypnosis, and I'll give you a simple way of how to do it. You see, a lot of times people are running 100 miles an hour per day, and they are never slowing down at all. They're never taking some me time. So I tell people, get out of the stimulus response. Stop allowing someone or something to dictate what you do. For 5 or 10 minutes a day, take back your time. Take a peaceful walk. Sit down and journal tonight. Dump that garbage out of your mind, because all thoughts that we have are not beneficial thoughts. There are some thoughts that you might need to argue with. I have a coaching client in Norfolk, and she said to me the other day, I don't think I'm getting anything done. And I'm saying, why would you say that? And look, let me tell you, she's very productive. She runs a business that's probably worth a couple $1 million. So it's not about the money. It's about how you control this thing between your ears. And I had to ask her, I said, stop. Why did you say that? And she said, that was just a thing that I said in the moment. I said, the moment's going to kill you, because that moment adds up. So let's reframe that. Let's ask myself, because please note this, questions are the steering wheel of the mind. Questions are the steering wheel of the mind. Ask yourself a better question. So here's the better thing. How can I get more things done today and enjoy it? Here's a simple strategy. Ask yourself a better question. So what I have my coaching clients to do, I ask them to say, ask yourself in the morning, take 5 minutes for yourself and outline your day. Ask yourself the question, how can I have a great day today and enjoy it? And work on achieving that one goal today.
That's a great strategy. Listen, I'm looking for you saying anything about affirmations. I use affirmations with my coaching clients a lot. So what are your thoughts about that?
I like affirmations, but I also like incantations.
Ooh, talk to
So,
us about that.
so what happens is an affirmation is a verbal, what you will say, what you want verbally to do. But what if you got your whole body involved in it? What if you said, today I see, feel, and hear, I'm going to have an outstanding day and we're going to change someone's life. See, now that stimulus that I have shocked through my body awakens me and it makes me more empowered for that moment. So what if I continue to incant that it sends another stimulus throughout my body and empowers me instead of just giving me a verbal affirmation?
Well, I call that visualization more than incantation. So I use affirmations and then couple that with visualizations for my clients to not only just hear what they're saying, but see themselves in the moment of what they're talking about. So you call it incantations, I call it affirmations coupled with visualization.
So here's what I do that might be just a little tweak. And I will say anything that works to help you stay empowered and keep you in uptime is very good. So what I tell my clients is do what's called VAK. Make a affirmation or incantation and make it visual, make it auditory, make it kinesthetic. So today I see that I'm going to be empowered. I feel that I can make a difference and I can hear that I'm moving forward with all the strength and energy in my being. Visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. If we bring in the senses, that's because how we get information, then what else can move us or stop us if we have all our senses in place?
Speaking of, you talk about hypnosis. You talk about being visual, auditory, and kinetic. Let's talk some about neurolinguistics. I can almost not say that word. Neurolinguistics.
Neurolinguistics programming. You know, Barbara, everyone on this planet is programmed to a certain degree. I guarantee you, if you saw a police car behind you and those lights flashing, you're going to pull over. Yeah, we are programmed. My mom used to say, boy, I brought you in this world. I'll take you out. And just her voice, she didn't have to move. She just had to say something. I was programmed based upon the tone of her voice.
My mother didn't even have to have a tone. She just had a look.
Yeah, and you knew how to act. So ask yourself, the one thing that we never do if we talk about neurolinguistics is what's the belief that empowers you? What beliefs do we have that empower us? And what beliefs do we have that limit us? And sometimes in order to go to the next level of ability, the next level of possibility, we need to ask ourselves, what are my beliefs? See, for me, Barbara, part of my background is I'm from 2112 Walcott Place, the projects. And I never forget when I was small, probably in the 7th, 8th grade. You know how kids are saying, you know, I want to be this. I'm going to be a businessman. Oh, I want to be a senator. And we have all those dreams. And I'll never forget a girl by the name of C. I won't say her name. She said, let me write something in your book. And again, she was from uptown. I was from downtown. I'm the project kid. And she wrote something in my book that really changed my life. She said, because of where you're from, you'll never be anything. And probably by the time of 18, you'll be dead. And you know, for years, I carried that with me. And for years, you know, they say, as a man or woman thinketh, so is he or she. And there is someone in our life that affects the way that we will grow and the way we will be. And she affected my life that I thought I wouldn't be anything. But there was a gentleman by the name of Sam Plush that told me and helped me see a better possibility. He made me see that the projects didn't have to be where I ended up, that there was more possibilities for me. And when I grew up, I always made myself a promise that realistically, people have more ability in themselves than they ever think. But what has to change is their belief about themselves. So we're holding on to old beliefs that limit us. Remember, I said earlier, garbage in, garbage stays in, and we need to dump the garbage of the beliefs that's limiting us and stopping us to be the best Barbara Smith or Wade Randolph or the guest that we can so that we can grow. See, I think the biggest thing we have to ask is there are three types of people in this world: people that make things happen, people that watch things happen, and people that will wonder what happened.
What happened?
What group do you want to be in? You got to look at what your beliefs are and wipe the ones that limit you out.
And it just goes back to show that we don't even realize, right, the impact that people have on our lives from so long ago. And we don't even realize the impact we have on other people's lives by the things we say to them in a moment. And so we have, especially as speakers, we standing on a platform or standing in a network or standing on a show have to especially watch what we say because our words are so powerful. And again, Sandra Lucky has it right on. Slow to speak, quick to hear, yes, and slow to speak. Because God gave us the right proportion of organs. He gave us 2 to 1. Where we mess up as human beings is we talk more than we listen. I'm guilty, right?
There are no perfect people.
Yeah.
We are all guilty. Sometimes, Barbara, I say that we need always in your life what's called a power partner. A power partner is a person that you give permission that will look out for your best interest. You know that that person has your back, like I know you always have mine. And you give that person permission to help you stay in your right mind. I have a good friend, a power partner named Alan McDougall. When I was going to write my first book, I had a family member, because sometimes you got to love your family members long distance. He called me and he said, what are you doing? I said, I'm working on a book. He said, come on, man. Give me a break. Who would want to read something that you're writing? And after he talked to me, I said, you know what? He's right. And I put that book away. You see, some people, they're in your life that you've got to learn. You got to love them from long distance. They don't mean any harm, but they are just not on the journey that you are on. You got to find people that can be on your journey and that will help you move to another level. And I had a friend named Alan McDougall. We talk now probably twice a month. And he called me. He says, hey, what are you doing? How's the book coming? And I said, Alan, I've been busy, man. He said, no, wait a minute. You busy with the book? I said, no, I'm not writing it. And he said, I don't know what you're doing, but look, I won't accept any excuses from you. We made an agreement that you're going to write that book, so that's what I expect of you. I don't know what's going on between your ears, but I expect you to write the book as we agreed. Barbara, sometimes in life, you got to have people that tell you not what you want to hear, what you need to hear. And I'm telling you, Alan has been that power partner, that voice in my ear for years. And I'm telling you, I wrote that book called Staying Strong Through the Storms. And I can't tell you how many people that book has helped, only because Alan McDougall had me to see what I couldn't see.
And that's a great point, because what happens with us is we tend to hear these voices in our own head. We don't actually need any extra help with being negative ourselves. I think the statistic is more like 80,000 thoughts a day that we think, and 90% of those thoughts are negative, and then 80% of those are repetitive. So basically, we're not only thinking negative thoughts, but we're repeating the cycle of negativity. And so we need to, as trainers, as coaches, as speakers, as people, to not only surround ourselves with people who are in our corner, our cheerleaders, people that are going to pump us up, but we also need to stay away from the people who are not in our corner, because make no mistake, everybody don't like you. Everybody don't like me. Okay. And that's a great point that, again, Sandra Lucky is making. That's why God said, don't cast your pearls before swine, because you can't expect everybody to cheer your successes. Even though you want to, you want to tell everybody, you want to go tell everybody on the mountaintop about how God's blessing you and how your life is achieving and going higher, but everybody's not wanting to go higher with you. My cousin says, Barbara, you're an eagle, and everybody can't fly in high altitudes.
You know, there's an interesting thing that I tend to tell my clients: people do the best with the resources they have. That there are no bad people. Sometimes we have to help people change how they see themselves and their behavior. But that doesn't mean that you have to break your back or bend your back to allow people to be on your shoulders. Remember, Marianne Morrissey said it very well. Our deepest fears is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. How are you showing your power to the world? See, as Les used to say, we're not here to be like molehills. We're here to grow into mighty mountains. How are you growing?
And that is a great point, and a point where we can stop for a moment and take a break. So I want you to hang out with us. Stay right there. We're coming right back after this commercial break. Hi, I'm Barbara H. Smith, known as the Masterful Presenter. If you could figure out a universal language, personality code that connects with potential client, how powerful would that be? I empower people to communicate better what they do, what they have, and what they bring to the table. People love to buy. I don't need you to sell it to me. I come in there with an intention, and that's what you're going to do going forward. You're going to go into networking events with intention.
I am here benefiting from the wisdom of Barbara Smith.
She gave so much information on how I can just excel in my business, and I'm taking it to a whole nother level.
I'm learning a lot that I didn't really know about my business.
The information that she's been presenting has been informative and helpful to me.
If you have not been in the presence of Ms. Holmes Smith, you need to make sure you do so. Her workshops are authentic. She comes with such training, and she just graces you with her presence, and she allows you to feel the experience like none other before. And we are back. Thank you for staying with us. I want to also give a mention to the fact that when you're on the IBM TV network, you are being viewed worldwide. 45,000 Facebook viewers view this station on a regular basis, and our partner channels have over 200 countries involved with 1 million subscribers. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please
Go to the email address support@thebhsshow.com. That's support@thebhsshow.com. And we're back with Wade Randolph. Over the past 12 years, this guy has been an international traveler. He's been some of everywhere. So tell us where some of your travels have taken you, Wade.
Wow. California, across the seas. You know, it's interesting when you speak across the seas, you never know what people you will meet. I've gained some good friends in London, England, that I talked to across the pond, as they call it. Man, I've spoken to Atlanta. I live in Virginia. Barbara, you know, I've been some places in Virginia I never knew existed. But here's the interesting thing. When you start on your purpose, when you know that you have a purpose, that your job is to give people a vision of themselves that they didn't have, it is so interesting. The people that you will meet, the people that you will help give them a greater vision, but the people that will help you on life's journey. So it is amazing the people I have met, the places. I'm a kid from the projects. I never thought that I would be able to do this, but sometimes we have what they say, stinking thinking. And you've got to get around the people that will help you think differently, because there's someone that's waiting for you to hear your voice. There's someone that's waiting to see you to free them. There's someone that's waiting to listen to your message, that you'll give them a greater vision. Man, the places I've been, I never thought I'd be able to do. I never thought I'd be able to even talk with people. Last thing I'll say, Barbara, I spoke before a trucking company in Maryland, Virginia. I have never driven 18-wheeler truck before, but when I talk with a gentleman, he says, "You're the one I want, because I know that you will give us a greater vision of what our business will be." Here's my point. Once you step into your gift, you never know where it will take you.
Hey there, I'm on mute. So I am so happy to hear you say that, because we have a power that we don't even recognize. And we have to recognize the fact that we help. That's what we're here for.
Mhm.
We're helpers. We want people to become better, bigger. We all have gifts, right? And if we don't uncover those gifts, sometimes those gifts go to the greatest place that most gifts end up, in the cemetery.
Yes.
So talk to me some about how you help people uncover their gifts.
Number one, you have to ask yourself, who are you behind your words? Who really are you? If there were no limitations on what you could do, what would you do? If money wasn't an issue, what would you do? Now, most people will say, well, you know, money is an issue. I tell people, no, it's not money, it's mindset and skill set. What are you thinking that stops you? You know, Nelson Mandela was in jail for over 27 years. And he came out and he freed a country. A man that was in jail 27 years. What did he develop while he was in jail? Mindset, skill set. You have to ask yourself, see, we live in more of an entertainment society. Most people right now, and I'm guilty of it, they're on Netflix, they're on Facebook, but sometimes you got to turn that off and work on you. Because here's what I've learned. The best investment that you will have is you.
Say it again.
The best investment that you will have is you. So you have to ask yourself, how are you working on you? In this COVID time, these are the times adversity reveals a man or woman to themselves. And if you're not working on you, then it's revealing the deficiencies that you have. It's revealing what you need to move away from and what you need to move to. Let me say that again. Move away from it and move to. You have to ask yourself, what people do you need in your life that you will move you to another level.
That is so powerful what you just said. I want people to really hear that. When you don't move from where you are, when you stay in the same place that you are, when you don't look to develop you, what happens?
You're going nowhere. They say either get busy living or get busy dying. And right now, you have to make a choice. The greatest ability we have as humans is the ability to decide. If you want your life to be more, than decide that you can take it to more. See, Barbara, it's interesting for me, and I talk on the phone. I don't want to brag, but see, I've been burned out to the clothes on my back. See, I've been to the bottom of the barrel. When people say, well, how do you make it through these times? Well, I've been where you have nothing. And you have to, in those times, take a good look at you. What is it that I want out of life? Ask yourself these three questions. Number one, what is it I want out of life? Number two, what do I need to learn in order to move me to that next level? Number three, who can I get involved with that will help me and take me to that next level?
The problem is a lot of people don't want to ask for help. That's one of the three things that I talk about in Unleash the Speaker Within. And it is all about getting around people, first knowing that you have something to offer. Everybody has a gift. Secondly, asking for help. And thirdly, knowing that there is help. But if you don't ask, the word even tells us, seek,
And you
ask, seek, and knock. Ask, seek, and knock. And if you're not asking, then you can't possibly be seeking. And if you're not seeking, you're definitely not knocking. And so we as people, especially our community, have to get out of the thought that this is how I am, this is how I'm gonna be, this is the lot I've been given, where we're gonna stay. And so to be able to help some people, that's the greatest joy I get, Wade, from coaching.
Yes.
Help some people pull the diamond out of the coal that they might be living in. How about you? What does that do for you? What does that do when you help people?
So here's what I tend to tell people. Ask for help, not because you're weak, because you want to remain strong. I was in TJ Maxx the other day, and a lady ran up to me. You know how ladies can give you that look out of their side of their eye, and I'm like, why is this lady staring at me? And she came over and she said, are you Wade Randolph? I said, yes, ma'am, I am. She said, you spoke to me 5 years ago. You know, I quit my job because of you. I was like, oh my God. You know, that's serious. She said, because I used to work for a state agency and they brought you in. And what you said to me that day freed me. It had me realize that I was living at a level that I shouldn't be accepting. And I wasn't living what was possible for me. So I quit my job. And Mr. Randolph, thank you, because I built a strong business from there. What do I get?
That's
Barbara, the greatest reward that you can get is the ability to be of service to someone else and change their life.
Jim Rohn says it this way: service to many leads to greatness.
So then I ask my coaching clients each morning. I said, let me ask you, who can you be of service to today? Even just to bring a smile to someone's face, even just to have someone look at something different, even just for a moment to bring a chuckle to someone, because there's so many people going through misery right now. And I tend to say, what can we do to shift that so that people will not be in misery, but to be in happiness, even if it's for a few minutes each day?
And that is really key, especially in this environment. You talked about productivity and you talked about your productivity journal. I want to hear, what's it like in the day of Wade Randolph?
You know, Les Brown, that used to tell us, yes, Barbara, I got you. I will say that right. Mr. Les Brown used to say, when we go out to dinner, I'm going to order my dessert first. And we used to say, why are you going to do that? Eat your meal first. He says, no, I eat the dessert first because I want to have what's in front of me to enjoy first. Barbara, every day I look to bring some happiness into my life. Every day I look for not misery, but the things that will bring a smile to this face. You know, I'm already bald. You can't get busy. You can't have hair when you're busy. I want to live life to the fullest so that when I'm gone, people will say, wow. I want to look back and say, man, I used that life up and I had me a great time. What's next? So every day I'm looking, Barbara, to be productive. Every day I'm looking to enjoy. Every day I'm looking to what I can do to stretch myself to another level. There's an old principle that says, CANI, constant and never ending improvement. I'm looking to do that. So when you see Wade Randolph, you're going to say, wow, that guy's at another level and he's enjoying it. That's what I look to do every day.
And you are definitely doing that. So I want to know, when you start coaching people, what's kind of the process? What do you do with them? How do you get them to say, yes, Wade, I want you, and I don't want anybody but you?
Sometimes you have to be willing to give the person what they need. In life, as a good friend of mine said, sometimes you need a cheerleader and sometimes you need a coach. So you have to listen, you have to ask the person questions. Who are you? What is it that you're after? What are you striving for? What are your goals? Do you see it there? At sometimes, one client I have right now, she's at a certain age and she thinks that at that age she shouldn't have any more goals. And we have to explore, why do you think like that? What is it, if you had a goal? What is it that you want to do? What's your real bucket list? What will you do so you can be an example, not for the people that's in front of you, but for future generations to come? I had the pleasure years ago to meet Cicely Tyson. And Barbara, I'm telling you, if you ever met Miss Tyson, there was an allness about her. There was an energy about her. There was something unique about her. And I said, Miss Tyson, can you tell me, what is it that allows you just to play a part and you feel, and people will feel like you're right there in the living room with him? What is it that you bring so much power? And she said, baby, be the best you can every day. She said, let me ask you, baby, who is it that cried for you? Who is it that worked for you? Who is it in your lineage that died for you, baby? And who will you cry for? Who will you work for? Who will you be, baby? Who you be, baby? Who you be? Barbara, that has stuck to me for years. So who you be? Who will you be that when you are gone, people will say, wow, she was the best Barbara Smith that I ever met? Because you're unique. Everyone that's in the sound of our voices, they're unique. And how will you express your uniqueness to this world?
So how do we? That's a phenomenal statement, because it is true. We are all unique. How do we reach our young people? We have so many misguided young people. How do we reach them?
Remember, we started this conversation, mindset and skill set. See, we learn from each other. Either you can be an example or you can be a warning. You can show people that even where you came from doesn't matter. What matters is how you think and where you want to end up. You know, I'm really, at one point, I used to not tell people when I used to take the stage that I'm a project kid. You know, I was ashamed, and my wife which, man, I got to give applaud to my wife, because this Wade Randolph you hear, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. And one day we were riding through the street, and I saw an old friend that I used to grow up with in Churchill, and he obviously was an alcoholic. And I said, wow, life hasn't been good to him. And she said, no, he hasn't been good to his life. How good are you being to your life, Robert? How good are you being to you that you sit back and say, wow, I accomplished this, never thought I could, and what else can I do? How good are you being to you? So here, you won't know what I do with my clients, and this will tell you if I'm the guy for them or not. I'm not for all people, because, look, I've had a lot of people that call me on my stuff because, again, as I said, sometimes you need people that will tell you not what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. One of my questions when I interview a client is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how well do you love yourself? If you rated yourself tonight on a scale of 1 to 10, how well do you love yourself? And if you say, well, I love myself at an 8, then how and what would you do tonight to move that to a 9 or a 10? David Hawkins wrote a book a few years ago called Power versus Force. Power versus Force. And he says that we all are energy. And the more we radiate and give off our energy is based upon love, peace, and joy. How well do you love yourself so you give off the positive, powerful energy instead of that weak energy that I'm no good, I can't do it, I don't have the ability? Come on, give me a break. Because if we show that we can give our best, then that also, life is our gift to the Creator. Or let me get that right. Let me make sure I get this right. The Creator gave us life, and the way we live our life is our gift to the Creator. How well do you love you to give the best you that you can be?
Yeah, because you can't give yourself, excuse me, you can't give yourself if you don't even love yourself, right?
I'm
And
just
so
asking.
my godmother used to say, baby, you the best, because God don't make no junk. I had to get my t-shirt that says that. It actually says that. Sandra Lucky says,
sometimes we forget that.
yeah.
And sometimes we need to remember that.
Yeah. And Sandra Lucky says, it's amazing because if you get the attention of youth, they'll not only listen to you, but they'll follow you and they will remember you, even if they don't remember your name. And I love that about teaching. So teaching and coaching kind of go hand in hand. And over the years, some 20 plus years, I've been teaching and coaching, and it's the greatest reward to see some of the students who, adult students, because I never really taught in the elementary school. I didn't want to go to jail. So I always taught adult education, and even at the adult education level, it was always and still is such a blessing to know that you impacted someone's life and they've gone on to do bigger and better things in their lives.
So Barbara, you asked me that. Can we talk about the youth for a minute?
Absolutely.
You brought this up. Where have I spoken? Man, I've spoken some places I never thought. I got a call from a youth group. I spoke in Wakefield, Virginia. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm a city boy. I don't know where Wakefield is, but they asked me to come speak, and there was a youth group. They said they were having problems with this group. And I came in, and let me tell you, if you want to test yourself as a speaker, speak before youth, because they will turn you off. And when I walked in, nobody wanted to talk. No one even wanted to make eye contact. Like, who is this bald head guy coming in here to talk? And for 30, 45 minutes, I talked about dream. Determine what you want to be. Realize it's up to you. Expect that sometimes it will be challenging. Aware that you can make it. Make things happen. And 2 weeks later, I got a letter from a young lady. She said, Mr. Randolph, I'm so glad that you came and talked to us, because if it wasn't for you, I probably wouldn't be here because I would have done something to myself. But you made me reignite my dream, and now I don't know where life will lead me, sir, but I think I can make it. Barbara, I have no special gift. My only gift is to tell people what they need to hear, that there is possibility. See, some people, they're not living their life because they live from possibility blindness. We got to help people see what's possible for their lives.
That's amazing. And it is one of the greatest rewards of speaking, teaching, coaching is when you touch somebody's life in such a way that you have impacted them for the rest of their life.
Yes.
And I know that teaching is the one profession whereby all other professions are made. And so that to me is so powerful and so tremendous. And I don't take it for granted. I don't take it lightly. I take it as a serious gift that needs to be shared with the world. I appreciate that comment about the youth because we have to reach our youth. They're dying in record numbers, and our community is suffering so terribly from the loss of our young men and women. And so we have to be that beacon light. We have to be that 1 or 2 or 10 or 1,000,000 that reach out to our youth. And our youth are not our future. They are our present. And
yes,
if we don't have them, we won't survive.
Stay in their ear. Let me tell you, as older people, stay in their ear. Tell them what you see them. Tell them what's possible. Tell them what they can be. Because if we don't get them while they're young, the streets will get them when they're older. Stay in their ear and make sure they understand that wherever they came from doesn't have to be where they will end up at, that anything is possible if they put their mind to it, if they put their talents to it. Stay in their ear.
I agree 100%. So what's next for Wade Randolph, and where is he going? Where are your travels? I know we're in this COVID environment, and so we're doing a lot of Zoom. We're doing a lot of meetings online. But tell me, where are you going? What's your plan for the next, 12 months?
You know, for me, I am getting back to spreading the message of there's more that you can do. If you want to live life at another level, let's do it. There's more that you can do. If you think that you can open a business, let's do it. Let's work on your skill set and mindset. So right now, I have a few projects that I'm working on that will show more of Wade the More guy. I'm doing some coaching. I've kind of scaled back coaching so I can release some more of my products. And now I've had friends that called me and said, look, can we do an interview with you over this Zoom thing and spread the message and give people hope? See, I think right now, Barbara, we've got to give people hope. Because right now, they're looking for something. They need to be able to know that things are going to be okay. And I think with a gift such as yours, with what I have as a gift, because if we acknowledge that there's a gift and we know that there's a giver, that we can give people hope. And our job is to spread the message so people will stand up, walk differently, and say, I can make it through this.
And that is a fact. The one last question I have for you is, you call yourself the More guy.
Yes.
Wade the More guy. Yes. What exactly does that mean, and why do you call yourself the More guy? Final question.
You would ask that question, so I'll catch up with you. You know, Barbara, like I always say, I'm a kid that grew up in the projects, and I always wanted more for my life. I don't think people have to live in misery. If you see someone else that's successful, they did it because they did something not unique. They did it because they wanted more, and they went out and found the answer. My friends, bless them all, when I used to travel with Les Brown's speaking group, the Platinum Group, they said, you're the More guy. And I said, why? They said, because you always would say, we can raise the bar on ourselves, that we don't have to settle for just being at a low level, that we can raise the bar, that we have the ability, that we have the talent, that we have the skill. And if we don't have it, we can learn it. The question I ask people is, what's the next vista that you want to go to? What's the next mountain you want to climb? What's the next thing you want to do that you can live life with more fulfillment, more passion, and more joy? That's the More Guy.
Thank you so much, Wade, for being a guest on the show, on the Barbara H. Smith Show. I want you to know that we have come to the end of our journey, but I want people to know that they can reach Wade Randolph and give them your contact information one last time. How can they reach you, Wade?
So you can hit me up at Randolph, RANDOLPH, unlimited.com, or you can send me an email at wade@themoreguy.com. Or you can call my office. Someone will answer my office, 804-986-1050. Again, Wade, W-A-D-E, at themoreguy.com.
Thank you. Thank you out there in Facebook land and YouTube land for listening. Good to hear you speak, Sandra Lucky says. So glad you're out there, Sandra. Stop by and see us on next Tuesday at 8 p.m. I'm Barbara H. Smith. You can reach me at www.barbarahsmith.com. I also have a book coming out July the 15th. July the 15th, we will be releasing Unleash the Speaker Within with course content as well as a book. So I'm ready. I want to see you in the place to be. You can get your pre-orders very soon. We'll be announcing it next week. So hang out with me next week on the Barbara H. Smith Show. That's my time. Thank you so much for spending time and space with me. I'm Barbara H. Smith, your host on IBM TV Network.